Well, hi. Welcome to Happy Trails Theater. Today's feature is Utah. Utah was released March 21st, 1945, and had a great cast with Gabby Hayes, Hal Taliaferro, Peggy Stewart, the Sons of the Pioneers.
Don't forget those pretty girls that were those showgirls.
Oh, yeah, we had a lot of dance gals.
Just great. Grant Withers, did you say Grant Withers?
Yes.
He was in it. Really, I enjoyed that picture so much. You know, Gabby really established a beachhead in that picture as being a woman hater and a sheep hater.
Carried it all the way through the series, you know.
And how he tricked me, and so did you. Really tricked me about that ranch.
But you know, he really wasn't a woman hater. He and his lovely wife were married for about 60 years.
Oh, yeah. You know, he was married a long time to the lady he called Ma. And they met years and years ago when he was an actor on Broadway, and she was a Ziegfeld Follies showgirl.
About 16 or 17 years old, Gabby told me.
Yes, and he absolutely adored her. And when Ma said that he had a good performance, it made no difference what anyone said or what he thought. If Ma liked it, he was well pleased about what he had done.
And vice versa. If she said it wasn't any good, he didn't sleep for a week.
Oh, he would have a heart attack or start grabbing with his angina pain if it wasn't good.
Yeah.
But he really adored her. And you know, after she passed away, they were so poor when he first came to Hollywood. And she worked in a learner's dress shop and on her feet hours and hours and hours to help him get established. And he had just little bit parts in the beginning. And he finally sort of built up, you know, until he had a real character and was doing very well. And then he just lavished everything he could buy for Ma. Bought her a very fine condominium in in 29 Palms. And then Mrs. Hayes developed cancer. I'll never forget that. And it broke his heart. He took her everywhere, to medical institutions and to Florida. And after she passed away, Gabby really didn't care too much. It just seemed like he was biding his time until he could be with Ma again.
Yeah, he kind of threw in the towel, you know, like a lot of people do at that age. And they had no children, and it was a kind of sad situation.
Yeah, I know it. Real family man.
Gabby, he was our family.
Yes, he was. He came out to our ranch one time and had dinner, and all of our children were around this big round table. And he started to cry. We sat there, and we felt very badly about it. And he said, "Roy, do you realize what a lucky man you are to have this family?" He just loved children, and they never had any. He just had a niece. Well, I think it's about time that we took a break now, and we'll be right back.
And enjoy today's Happy Trails feature, Utah.
Down upon the Swanee River, folks keep jiving all the day long. Oh, that's where I'm gonna stay forever, where the gate will make my life a song. So, honey child, on that day, when you come my way, I'll say, thank Dixie for me. How'd it look, Stella?
Terrific.
terrific, honey. If I know anything about shows, this ought to run a year, maybe 2.
Gee, I hope so. I could use about a year's steady work.
Yeah, especially the salary that goes with it. It'll take just about that much to get me out of Hawk.
Dorothy, Carter and Colby would like to see you in the office.
Thanks, Bill. See you later.
All right, kids, gather around. I want to tell you something.
Hello, fellas. Bill said you wanted to see me.
Well, Dorothy, I've got bad news for you. We're closing rehearsals.
Closing rehearsals?
Only temporarily, we hope.
Ralph, you can't do that. You've got a hit. This is the biggest thing you've ever done.
Yeah, honey, that's what we think. But unfortunately, our backer is pulling out on us.
Well, you can't just fold up. Get another backer. Look, I've been around show business long enough to know a hit from a turkey, and this can be a smash hit.
I'm afraid it's no use, honey. We're asking the cast to stand by for a few weeks. If a miracle should happen, we promote another bankroll.
I'm sorry, boys. Say, how much of a bankroll would it take?
20,000, 25,000 maybe?
Know where we can get it?
Maybe. Part of it, anyway.
We just got the bad news.
Maybe it isn't so bad at that. Stella, give me a nickel. How would you kids like to take a trip out west?
You mean that ranch you've been talking about?
Mm-hmm. Western Union, please.
Well, why go clear out there to starve to death when we can starve right here in Chicago? But it would be fun, cowboys and cowboys.
That's for me, way out west where men are many.
Kids, I've got a hunch, and if it doesn't work out, we can stay on the ranch until the new season opens. At least we'll have enough to eat. Western Union, I want to send a telegram to Roy Rogers, Bar X Ranch, Cold Brook, Utah.
You missed me.
Oh, hello, Roy. How are you?
Okay, Gabby. But I'm a little worried. I got a telegram.
Telegram? Who died?
Nobody. It's from old man Bryant's granddaughter. Listen. Please take inventory, Bar X. Planning immediate sale. Arrive noon train Thursday. Signed Dorothy Bryant.
Females. She can't sell the Bar X. First place old Tom would turn over in his grave if he thought that place was going to pass out of the family.
Yes, and he'd turn over twice if they started running sheep on it.
Sheep? There ain't nobody gonna run no sheep around here as long as I got a trigger finger.
Winton and his outfit's been trying to get their hands on the Bar X for the past 20 years. If she puts it on the market, they're sure to buy it, and you know what that'll mean.
Yeah. Sheep on our range sure is shooting. We gotta do something. Do it quick.
Gabby, you were Pop Bryant's closest friend, and I was thinking when she gets out here, you could sort of have a talk with her and convince her.
Convince a female? Ain't nobody living can tell him nothing. Next to a sheep, they're the dumbest critters on earth.
Take it easy, Gabby. There's no use yelping like a coyote. What we've got to do is try to figure out a way to keep her from selling.
Of course, when she sees the ranch, she might change her mind about selling. We could have the boys fix it up a little bit.
Fix it up a little bit? It's too darn neat and pretty as it is.
We could make it more feminine-like, more... Well, have the boys put up some lace curtains and stuff. I'll see you Thursday, Gabby.
Lace curtains and stuff. Darn persnickety females. Doggone termites.
Hey, Kenny, give me that brass polish, will you? This is the funniest hanging I ever attended. Lace petticoats for windows.
Snap it up, boys. That train will be pulled into Cold Brook in an hour. See you at the station, Bob.
I thought you was going in with us.
No, I'm going by and pick up Gabby.
What's on your mind, Bowman? I want to talk to you, Rogers. That'll have to wait. I'm on my way to meet a train.
That's just what I want to talk to you about. Lacey here tells me Brian's granddaughter wants to sell a Bar X.
Well, he ought to know he delivered the telegram. But what's that got to do with you?
Look, Rogers, I'm a real estate and cattle broker, right? And I've got a buyer, $100,000 cash.
If it's Winton you're thinking about, we're not interested.
Well, I've never heard that there was anything wrong with Winton's money. The girl wants to sell the ranch, and Winton wants to buy it.
He's got the other side of the range to run his sheep on. We're keeping the grass in this valley for cattle.
Say, I was just a-thinking, that Bryant girl ain't never even seen the Bar X. Probably hasn't any idea what it's worth.
Maybe you got something there. If she needs money, she'd probably be tickled to death to give us an option to buy it for $25,000 or $30,000. We could sell it to Winton for $100,000. No, not after Rogers tells her how much that ranch is really worth. He's on the way to meet her now.
Suppose he never got to the station, and we did.
Do you mean what I think you mean?
Well, 70,000's a lot of dough.
You stay here, Gabby. When I whistle, come running. Nice shooting, Lacey.
Get up out of there, you young whippersnapper. Get up.
Take it easy, Rogers. We were shooting at a coyote. Any of those shots hit near you, it was a mistake.
Didn't look like a mistake to me. Come on.
Here's the other one, Roy.
Wait a minute, Rogers. You and Whitaker think we shot at you deliberately. We say we didn't.
What do we do with them?
We've got a train to meet. Let them walk back to Cold Brook. Come on, Gabby.
Oh.
Come on. Miss Bryant?
No, but I'm Miss Bryant.
Well, welcome to Utah, Miss Bryant. I'm Roy Rogers, and this is Gabby Whitaker.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for the nice welcome, Mr. Rogers. Makes me feel awfully important. These are my friends, Mrs. Mason and Miss
You
Jones.
mean to say all them females are with you?
Yes. Do you mind?
Well, what he means is that,
Well, that's quite all right. You have our transportation.
Yes, I'll take your bags.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Mr. Rogers, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm sorry.
I think you said that.
See you. What What's this stuff for?
Just something to make you smell good. You should try it sometime.
Looks like we're all going to be one big happy family.
I reckon if Roy can stand it, you can.
We won't annoy you with our presence very long, Mr. Rogers. I'm only staying until I sell the ranch.
It'll have to be a mighty long time. Me and Roy's decided you can't sell.
Oh, you've decided.
Well, what he means is, we've been thinking it over, and we've decided
I'm
that...
quite capable of thinking for myself, thank you.
No female's capable of thinking for herself.
Say, what are we doing? Playing straight for this old goat?
Quiet, Grandma. Now listen here, young
Just a minute, Gabby. I'll talk to Miss Bryant.
That won't be necessary if you'll just load our luggage.
I'm sorry we got off to such a bad start, Miss Bryant. I guess Gabby was a little blunt. He has a habit of saying what he thinks.
What you both think, apparently.
Well, the only reason we were hoping you wouldn't sell the ranch is that, well, it's been in your family so long, and we thought that...
Mr. Rogers, I appreciate your interest, but I've already made my decision.
I know, but at a forced sale, you'll never get what the ranch is worth.
Then I'll take what I can get. I want the money for a better investment.
A better investment? What's a better investment than a ranch? It pays you a good income and...
Really, Mr. Rogers, I don't think this is any... I'm investing the money in a theatrical production.
Investing. You're gambling away your ranch you haven't even seen yet. I guess there's nothing I could say...
That's right.
Well, that's funny. We're not out of gas.
Even out here it happens.
What's the matter, Roy?
I think it's a carburetor. Yep, it's the carburetor, all right. Gabby, we'll have to ride back to the ranch and get another one. Boys, you stay here. We'll be back in about an hour. If the girls ask you anything about the ranch, how big it is or how much it's worth, don't answer. Just sing and keep singing.
I'm sorry, folks, but we'll be back as soon as we can.
Does it take two of you to carry a carburetor?
Well, you see, one of us might not know where it is.
Well, you might as well tie your horses up, boys.
What are you up to, son?
I've got a brainstorm, Gabby.
Oh, I know that, but what are you up to?
Come on.
Look, Roy, what are you trying to fool her for? Just tell her if she sells the Bar X, the whole darn valley will be overrun with sheep.
That wouldn't mean a thing to her. She's city bred.
She's a female, ain't she? City bred or country bred, they're all alike. Take her over your knee.
I've got a picture of me taking her over my knee. She's got spirit. You can't outfight her. You've got to outsmart her.
Outsmart her? They're all dumber than sheep. Darn persnickety of females. If I had my way...
But you haven't. Come on. This will be a good place for it, Gabby. Hurry up, Gabby.
Howdy, Miss Bryant.
For the 3 little doodles, 1 little mile, there goes my 1 little 2 little 3 little 4 little 5 girls stole my heart.
That's very nice, boys, but would you mind telling
1
me
little
what...
2 little 3 little 4 little 5 girls went by. 4 little 3 little 2 little 1 little girl just caught my eye. 1 little 2 little 3 little 4 little 5 girls could see. 4 little 3 little 1 little girl was meant for. 1 little 2 little 3 little 4 little 5 girls stole my heart.
Hey, where are we going? Bar X, of course. But the Bar X is that away. Oh, it ain't as that away. Can't you read?
Welcome home, Miss Bryant.
Oh, this is awful.
Well, it is a little run down. I guess I ought to slicked it up a little bit for you.
But I got hurt.
Hey, boys, rustle the lady's luggage, will you? Now, would you like to see the inside?
Oh, well, it really isn't much, but we call it home.
Yeah. Pull up a window and sit down.
It is a little untidy, but...
Heidi, why, it's filthy. Is this all there is to the place?
Sure.
Do you mean all of you live in this shack?
Well, the boys don't work here. They're from another ranch, just neighbors.
Them overhauls supposed to hang right there.
Hang. They can stand by themselves.
I need some air.
Gee, I'm sorry you don't like the place, Miss Bryant.
How big is this place?
Oh, 40 or 50 acres, I should say. Of course, all of it isn't good land. The stock's all right, though. We've got some good cattle and some pigs. Would you like to see them?
No, thank you. What I don't understand is how this place has been able to support itself, much less pay me an income of $200 a month.
Well, that's why it's run down. Of course, now if we could have been putting that money we've been sending back to you back into the ranch.
Never mind our luggage, boys. We aren't staying.
Not staying? Well, I thought you came out here to sell.
Sell this place? I doubt if I could give it away. We're taking the first train out.
Now you're talking. That's the most sensible remark I ever heard from a female.
Oh, I'm sorry you're disappointed, Miss Bryant.
Next train leaves 20 minutes to 11 tonight.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait here until train time. You might as well load our baggage in the station wagon.
Oh, but the station wagon doesn't belong to this ranch.
It doesn't belong here? But I thought you...
No, it belongs to the ranch where the boys work. But I think I can borrow it to take you back to the station. That is, if you're set on leaving.
Oh, we're set.
You can say that again. I'd just as soon live in a buzzard's nest.
Well, that ought to suit you just fine.
Better be ready about 10 o'clock. Mount up, boys. Come on, Gabby. Well, good evening. Aren't you folks ready?
We're not going.
Not going?
Miss Bryant has decided to stay.
Now you look here.
Could I speak to Miss Bryant, please?
Well, just a minute.
Gee, I hadn't figured on this. If they...
Yes?
You've decided to stay?
Yes, we have. I'm going to... What was that?
A coyote. If you're figuring on staying the night, Miss Bryant, maybe you'd better take this.
Why should we need that?
Wild animals. Well, last night a fella got clawed to pieces in his sleep. Then, of course, there's the rattlesnakes.
If you think you can frighten us with a corny gag like that, you're crazy.
Females. You ain't got brains enough to be scared. Why, I remember once...
You think that maybe...
Maybe you girls would feel better if we brought our blankets and slept out here tonight.
Thank you. I don't think that will be necessary.
All right, but if you change your mind, just holler. Good night.
Good night.
Female.
Since when did Gabby's place get to be the Bar X?
I don't know. Maybe we can find out. Good morning. You Miss Bryant?
Yes?
My name is Bowman. I was a good friend of your grandfather's. This is Steve Lacey.
Hello.
Howdy.
I understand you're anxious to sell a Bar X.
I certainly am. At least I was until I saw it. I don't think this place is worth very much.
Hasn't your foreman given you an estimate?
No, he hasn't. As a matter of fact, Roger seems very anxious to prevent me from selling this place at all.
Well, I happen to be in the cattle and real estate business. If you'd like to drop into the office tomorrow, maybe we can make a deal.
I certainly will. I'll try and get in this afternoon.
Oh, that's fine. Well, I wouldn't say anything to Rogers about this. Naturally, he'd try to prevent a sale to protect his job.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, see you this afternoon.
Bye, and thank you. Hold everything, kids. We're leaving.
What?
I got a customer for the ranch. We're selling out.
Oh, look, how about making up your mind? We're going, we're staying, we're staying, we're going.
I was just commencing to like the place.
Are you kidding?
We'll be back with Utah.
Good morning.
Morning. Hello, Miss Wanda.
Hi, cowboy.
Can I, help you with that?
You sure can. Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Won't you come in?
Thanks.
Well, of all the dad blame, look what they done to the place.
Well, you sure fixed it up nice, Miss Bryant.
You really like it?
Like it? Why,
Sure we like it. It's swell.
flowers. Flowers is for funerals, not for a house. And look at the petticoats on them windows. This here's a ranch, ain't no lady's boudoir. Where's my Sunday overalls? They couldn't have walked away.
I'm not so sure about that.
If you wasn't a female and was closer to my age...
Nobody could be that close and live.
Quiet, Grandma.
Gabby sort of loses his temper sometimes. Well, Miss Bryant, where shall we move the yearlings in the south pasture?
Well, it really doesn't matter. I wonder if I could borrow the station wagon this afternoon. I have to go into town.
To town? What for? Well, what I mean is, if you really need something in town, Gabby and I will be glad to pick it up for
Well,
you.
no, you see, this is something I can take care of personally.
I'm sorry, Miss Bryant, but that carburetor's...
It's on the blink again?
Well, sort of. Come on, Gabby. We'll see you later, Miss Bryant. Well, where do you think you're going all dressed up?
Tack room, need a couple saddles.
Couple saddles, what for?
Well, got a date with Miss Wanda.
Well, I'll tell her you'll be a little late. I've got a job for you and the boys.
Okay, I'll tell... Me? And what job?
Gabby will tell you all about it. So long.
What time is it, Stella?
4 o'clock, straight up.
Oh, gee, I'm supposed to be there at 4.
Be where? Isn't he going to pick you up?
No, I'm going to meet him at the love seat. Romantic, huh?
I suppose so.
That's my date. Thanks, honey, you're a doll. Madame. Bye, all you lonesome people. Don't wait up for me.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I thought you were Robert.
I'm afraid Robert will be a little bit late.
That's peachy.
Well, hello, Miss Bryant.
Hello.
I'm sorry about the station wagon. I brought you a horse, though. Thought maybe you could ride him until we get the motor fixed.
Well, thank you.
Maybe you'd like to take a look at him and sort of get acquainted.
All right.
His name's Billy. You don't have to be afraid of him. He's gentle as a cow.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Think you can handle him all right?
I can't if he knows what woe means.
Well, would you like to try him out now?
Sure, why not?
Swell. I'll help you on.
Fight to make that valley beautiful, Miss Bryant. The first people in there cleared it with their bare hands. They came over Green Horse Mountain yonder in covered wagons. A lot of them died in the snow.
I remember hearing my granddad talk about that when he came east one time. I was just a kid. Did you know my granddad, Roy?
Yes, I know him. My grandfather came over that trail with him. They settled this section together.
Those old pioneers certainly went through a lot of hardships.
Yeah, but if you love the land like they did, I guess hardships don't matter much. They were building for the future and not thinking so much about themselves.
I suppose so.
Gosh, I'm awful sorry I'm late, Miss Wanda.
Of all the dirty, low-down tricks standing me up, and on my last night here.
Doggone it, I just couldn't help it. I was doing something for Roy.
Yeah, what?
But I can't tell you that. And besides, I don't think this is your last night here. I think you're staying.
Staying? What are you talking about?
Well, that's all I can say. I can't tell you any more than that.
Want to bet?
Well,
Hey, what's the idea? Oh, Wanda, it's the middle of the night.
Brother, I got news. We're staying here.
What? Oh, this is where I came in. But Dorothy said that when we're leaving, that she was selling the ranch tomorrow.
But that was before that cowboy Casanova took her for a ride in the moonlight. Roy, perhaps I've been wrong.
Wrong?
Yeah. About a lot of things.
Just what do you mean?
What I mean is, I think maybe I really do belong out here.
Well, I'm sure glad to hear you say that, Dorothy, because, well, there's something I have to tell you. If you don't mind, though, I'd like to keep it till tomorrow. It's a sort of a surprise.
Surprise?
Mm-hmm. Will you and the girls hold tomorrow afternoon open?
Sure.
Well, good. Gabby will pick you up in the station wagon about 3 o'clock.
We'll be waiting.
Okay. Now, don't forget it, 3 o'clock.
I won't. Good night.
Good night.
I'll bet that guy could peddle ice cubes at the North Pole.
Do you know what he did? He even arranged a musical background for the Moonlight and Roses thing. And Bob told me that when Roy sells them, they stay sold.
You mean to say Dorothy fell for a corny gag by a yokel cowpoke?
I hope I don't look that simple. I just rode along for the laugh. Oh, gee, Dorothy, I didn't know you were outside. Don't be silly, Wanda. You weren't telling me anything I didn't already know. I just wanted to talk him out of a heart. After all, I did have to go in town to make a deal from the ranch, didn't I?
Nolan had quite a part in this picture, more than in any picture that I worked with you.
Yes, he had a little romantic part with Beverly Lloyd, and watching him do that was is really a surprise to me because Bob was always a kind of a backward, quiet fellow, and he remembered. I remember when the first time I met him, we'd ran an ad in the paper to get another singer. We touched on this in one of the other pictures, but this particular incident, he answered. He was, as I said, he was a lifeguard on the beach at Santa Monica, but when he answered the ad, they had the red car, and he had to walk several blocks, and he had bought him a new pair of shoes to answer the ad. And when he knocked on the door here, he stood with his his shoes in his hands, and he had a blister about the size of a dime on each heel, we find out later. But that's when he applied for the job as a singer with the Rocky Mountaineers at that time. And to watch him doing these scenes with a beautiful blonde brunette.
He's so courtly and precise.
He's precise about everything. I just couldn't believe it. But Bab, I think with the right training, he could have been a cowboy star.
Yes. So many people love Bob Nolan.
Yeah, he could write songs like nobody.
Oh, beautiful music.
He always seemed a little bit tight, you know, when he was, he could never speak lines and be loose about it and be himself.
Yeah, I know.
It was hard for him.
But he could sure write music. You know, another thing that I loved in that picture was Peggy Stewart. To have Peggy with us. Peggy was one of the most popular women ever to be on the Republic lot because she was so friendly and such a genuine person and a beautiful girl to boot.
She did pictures with almost all of us.
I know, all the cowboys that she worked with. But she was always the same, and she was a very dependable actress. I met her when I first started working in a picture with Don Barry. They were divorced at the time, but she and Don had a son, and I lived over in Westwood, and we'd had a horrible rainstorm, and she invited me to spend the night with her. And I just really fell in love with this girl because she was such a sweet person, such a wonderful person, such an understanding person. She's still just as pretty as a picture today.
Yeah,
you
she
know
was
that?
at the Golden Boot Award the other night,
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks ago when we had it in Hollywood.
I know it. And I'm so glad that she's had a very happy marriage, you know?
Yeah, she
And of course,
seems to be
Don
very
is
nice.
gone now, you
Yes.
know, but she's had a happy marriage, and everybody still remembers Peggy Stewart, and they love Peggy Stewart. Well, I think it's about time for us to get back to our feature, Utah.
Here's the bill of sale, Miss Bryant. You'll find things as we agreed. The Bar X Ranch, together with all equipment and livestock, $5,000. $1,000 now, the balance within 30 days through your own bank in Chicago.
Looks all right to me.
It's perfectly legal. Just sign here.
Yes. There you are.
Thank you. My check for $1,000. Well, that closes the deal. Satisfactory?
Very. To be perfectly honest with you, Mr. Bowman, I didn't expect that much. Goodbye, Mr. Bowman. Thank you very much.
Bye. She thanks me.
Not a bad morning's work. I hope there's no kickback on it.
How can there be? I've got her signature. The deal is closed legally.
Sure, but you're forgetting something, ain't you? You just gave her one of those checks of yours, and you've still got to raise another $4,000.
This deal will be closed before that check clears. With all those Bar X cattle, you don't think I'm going to have any trouble raising $5,000, do you? Plus a neat little profit for myself.
Don't put them there, Bob. That space is for the turkey. Hurry it up, fellas. They ought to be here any minute. Light those candles, Tim.
Who ever heard of candles in broad daylight?
We always have candles at a party. You fellas all know what to do?
My goodness, we ought to. You've only told us 10 times already.
Hey, it's after 3 o'clock. Maybe that station wagon really did break down.
Or Gabby broke down. Here they come, boys. Get your positions and let's have the music.
I'm going to hide away out beside that Utah trail. Moonlight as bright as day, for out on that Utah trail. There's where I'll settle down in peace, where all is still. In a little hut just built for two, tucked away in the heart of the hills. Beneath the skies of blue.
Well, where are the girls?
Gone. Skipped out. Vamoose bag and baggage. Left this on the door for you.
Thanks for the ride in the moonlight. Utah's a fine place, but so is Chicago. And that's where we've gone. Dorothy Bryant.
Well, maybe it's not too late to stop them.
Stop 'em? What for? This what you wanted, isn't it?
Well, not just like this.
Hey, what's eating you anyhow? The whole idea was to get that female back east before she could sell the Bar X. So it worked. So everything's jake. So let's eat.
Well, I can't figure this out. Last night, she was all set to stay.
Good riddance, what I say. Now we really got an excuse to throw a party. Come on, boys. Strike up the music.
I guess that means Miss Wanda left too, huh?
Hey, what is this, a funeral?
Roy, there's a bunch of fellas on the South Range. They're rounding up our cattle.
Well, who are they?
I don't know, but Ben Bowman's with them.
Looks like trouble, boys. You better put on your guns. Where's my gun?
Lamb.
Hey, that's my horse, Gabby.
Out of the way, Bob. I got work to do.
Are you with that cattle drive?
That's right. Why?
Then maybe you can't read brands. Can't you see that that's Bar X stock?
Maybe you can't read a bill of sale. I happen to own the Bar X.
You'll never make that stick, Bowman.
Now, I'm taking the cattle.
It's not far.
Take it easy, Rogers.
We're within our rights here, but Rogers might cause trouble. I'm going to get the sheriff, Steve.
Might as well step down and take it easy.
You haven't got one chance in a million getting away with this, Lacey.
1 chance in 2 million. Drop that gun, you wall-eyed polecat. Nice work, son. Couldn't done better myself.
Thanks. Rustlers, let's go get them. All right, boys, this is as far as you go.
We might have at least said goodbye to the boys.
You mean the boy's named Bob?
Get it? You'll meet 4 other Bobs before we get home.
You know, I hate to leave. The mountains, the trees, the moonlight. You can say what you want about the Bar X. They don't have air like this in Chicago.
Ever pass the stockyards on a windy day?
Miss Bryant,
Yes.
I'm Sheriff McBride.
Yes, sir.
This bill of sale, it seems Roy Rogers questions it.
I don't see what right he has to question what doesn't concern him, Sheriff.
Then you did sell the Bar X and all the cattle on it?
I certainly did.
Thanks, Miss Bryant.
Not at all. Well, girls, it's farewell to Utah. Let's go.
What's going on here, Roy?
We're rounding up a bunch of rustlers.
You're wrong, Roy. These men have a perfect right to move the Bar X stock. They work for Bowman here. Bowman bought the ranch.
Bought it? That's a laugh.
I just talked to Miss Bryant myself. She acknowledged the sale.
Then it was fraud. She didn't know what she was doing.
It ain't fraud when Bowman's got a bill of sale. And she was in the right mind when I talked to her.
Look, Sheriff, you're not going to let Rogers...
I tell you, she thought she was selling Gabby's place.
She thought it was the Bar X. Don't you see, Sheriff?
I'm afraid I don't.
I do. He's stalling for time. We've got a sale for these cattle, and if we don't get them out of here right away...
If there's any dispute, Miss Bryant will have to take it to court. You'll have to let these men take the stock, Roy, and I don't want any trouble.
Sheriff, I want to prefer charges against Rogers for assault with a deadly weapon.
Is this a deadly weapon?
I'm sorry, but you asked for it, Roy.
It's like I always said. Mixed up with females and you end up in trouble. There we were, sitting back minding our own business when along comes them women.
We couldn't very well sit back and watch Miss Bryant lose her ranch, could we? To say nothing to seeing the range overrun with sheep.
Well, looks like both them things are going to happen now. I tell you, Roy, there ain't no...
What's up, Bob?
They're shipping the Bar X cattle to Chicago. Me and the boys were down by the pens, and they're loading them in the cars right now.
Once they get that stock away from you, you'll never get it back.
Where's Bowman and Lacey?
They took the passenger train to Chicago.
That means they're taking them to the stockyards to sell the cattle.
We've got to get a hold of them before they make a sale.
But how? You couldn't catch up to them now, even if you was out of there, which you ain't.
Well, we're going to be on that cattle train when they meet it in Chicago. As for getting out of here... You and the boys get our horses and bring them around here. We'll meet you in about 5 minutes.
Hey, Sheriff.
What do you want?
Would you come here a minute? I got something I want to tell you.
What's on your mind?
Oh, get me off of this thing, will you? Hurry up. Turn off that current. Oh!
Let me do it, Gabby. I got gloves.
Will you turn off that current, Rogers? You think you can put anything over on me? Turn off that current. If you think you can get away with this, Rogers, you're crazy. Turn off that switch, will you? Get me off of this thing, Rogers. Help! Get me out of here, somebody. Hurry up!
We'll be back with Utah right after these messages. To Utah.
We have some horses we want to ship to Chicago. Have you got an empty car?
Yeah, next car is empty, but you'll have to hurry. We're due out of here right now.
Fine. All right, boys, put them in the next car.
Let's have to fill this out. One of you going along to take care of them?
We're all going.
Okay, Roy.
There you are, conductor. Thanks a lot.
Okay, my boy.
Let her roll.
Chicago. Come on, boys.
Well, they pulled the cattle cars out on us. Hey, Brakeman! Where's the rest of the train?
We pulled the cattle cars over to the west end of the yard.
Thanks. Hurry up, fellas. We've got to get to the west side of the yard and fast.
Account checks, hurry. There you are, Mr. Bowman.
Thank you.
What are they doing in Chicago?
Let's get out of here.
I'll take a little, all right.
Take care of him, Gabby.
Wonder where they're going in such a hurry.
We'll find out.
going on here?
We just picked up a couple of cattle thieves for you.
Cattle thieves? These men just tried to rob us.
They're trying to put over a fast one, officer.
I think you're all trying to put over a fast one. Let's talk this over at headquarters.
They're both in my office now, Sheriff. Yes, I certainly will. Now, you can count on that. Yes, right here. In just a moment. Oh, Rogers. He wants to talk to you.
Thanks. Yes, Sheriff.
Well, Roy, you sure put the right tag on Bowman and Lacey. It was a fraud, all right. And to cinch it, that $1,000 check of Bowman's might just as well have been Confederate money. I just talked to Bryant's girl by long-distance phone.
You did? Well, have you got her address here in Chicago?
Okay, Sheriff.
What?
I still got a little matter of jailbreaking to settle with you. Funny thing about that. The doctor said that electric shock cured my arthritis.
Well, maybe I ought to send you a bill for medical services. Well, thanks a lot, Sheriff. So long.
I'm holding you men for the Utah authorities.
Why, this whole thing's a mistake. We were sort of acting for Miss Bryant in the sale of the cattle, that's all. We always intended to give her the money.
Well, in that case, maybe you'd better endorse this check over to her.
I'll be glad to.
Think you'd better take charge of this, Mr. Rogers?
Thanks. I hope it's better than Bowman's. Well, I guess I'll be running along. I've got a date to explain a few things to a young lady.
Well, we won't take up any more of your time.
Just a minute. That's what you think. I'm still holding you for the Utah sheriff. Take him downstairs, Bill.
Welcome to the Bar X.
Now, boy.
Let me have your luggage.
Hold it. Look, kid, you're not giving me what I want at all. You haven't caught the spirit of this thing. This is supposed to be the West, Utah.
Well, I don't know anything about shows, Dorothy, but this one looks like you've made a good investment.
I only wish we had Dorothy playing the lead.
I'm afraid that's out, Ralph. I'm a-heading for Utah. This time, I hope I get on the right ranch.
You will.
Roy and Dorothy ought to play that scene right good.
What do you know about scenes, you old goat?
Oh, quiet, Grandma.
Now, you're just an ordinary cowboy. And you, Miss Harris, you're a girl from the East who's inherited this ranch. It's a very simple matter. Oh, kids, will you come up here, please? No, I want the rest of you, too. Maybe Roy and Dorothy can show you what I mean.
We should be able to. Come on, Roy.
Wild and woolly gals from out Chicago way. They came out west just to yippee-ki-yay. Still, we really like them and hope that they can stay. The wild and woolly gals from out Chicago way. The wild and woolly gals from out Chicago way.
If there's a place more beautiful to view, more wonderful than Utah, I can't believe it's true.
This
went by. 4 little, 3 little, 2 little, 1 little sheep just caught my eye. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little, 4 little, 5 sheep yelled, hey!
Say, who is this guy you got herding our sheep today?
Just look this way.
Yeah, he got me herding sheep now. I'm so mad that I could pop. I'm a whiskered little Bo Peep now. Get along there, you lamb chop.
That was really an exciting finish at that stockyards. I really got a charge out of that.
Up and down those lanes, of course, I had a lot of help. I had old Gabby there and Trigger. Trigger did a great job in this. He got old Al Talaferro cornered in the end of the runway on one of those where the cattle went through. And the chutes, they call them, I guess.
They were jumping from car to car and
over the
quite a
top
bit of stunt work, I tell you. That was terrific.
But old Trigger was trained for that, and you had to be careful. That's why we never let any strangers fool around with Trigger, because he was trained to fight. But you got, and they're all done on cues. You know, horses are trained for different movements you make means for them to do certain things. And if you got in a fighting position, I don't care who it was, me or you or anybody else, well, he'd attack you. And he'd come at you with that mouth open, but if you raised up, he'd just stop, walk up to you, and start to kiss you on the cheek. He was something else, so I always had a lot of help in those fights.
Yeah, I love the finish of this picture, too. I thought the finish was really sweet.
You dancing girls. Huh?
Oh, yeah, that and Gabby singing on the stage, and the lady that Gabby was opposite were friends, and they were together, and it was terrific.
You know, Gabby had a pretty good voice.
I know it.
And he liked to sing.
He did?
Yeah, he did.
I enjoyed that, but what was so cute was the little sheep with him.
Oh,
He who hated sheep. You know, Gabby had a tough exterior, you know, but inside, he was soft as a marshmallow.
Yeah, he was.
He really was. That was such fun, that picture, really.
Yeah,
we hope you've enjoyed this picture, Utah, as much as we enjoyed making it. And so, until next time on Happy Trails Theater.
Goodbye, good luck, and may the good Lord take a liking to you. Arthur Rankin and...